Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to the channel. As always, thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, get involved in the comments, become a patron if you really want to help my channel out, and if you are brand new, feel free to subscribe, come and join the family. Make sure you all hit that notification bell and you'll never ever miss one of my videos, would you? And you don't want to do that, do you? And hopefully you're not going to miss this one. You're going to watch all of it. So I've cooked up something new. Now, where's this video come from? Well, over the years, I've done quite a lot of pissing about the editor. And one of the things I've tried out quite a few times is putting a top quality manager at a shit team and seeing if the manager can make a difference, and that's never worked. I've quite often done my race to the Premier League videos where I give loads of little teams a sugar daddy and see who can win the Premier League first, and that does work eventually because these teams are getting pumped full of money. Then recently I've just done 2 videos with Haaland and Mbappe at Curzon Ashton and Ashton United, and all I did was put superstar players at a non-league team and was amazed over about an 18-year period how one player could transform a club. Now, when I play this game, I genuinely love improving my facilities when I'm a smaller team and building a great staff because I believe it helps. I believe, obviously, hopefully, you're going to get good young players and so on. But does it actually work? So what we've done here, or me, just me, I'm on my own, I only work on my own. I've not got a team of people. And what I've done is we've got a club, not changed anything, but the facilities, the staff and the vision. And we're going to see if that alone could drag this team all the way to the very top. Should we find out? So you may be wondering why Walsall. Well, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine last week, Mitchell, aka the Salmon FM, and we were just discussing what we'd do if we won the Euro Millions. We both have always had this dream that we'd buy a football club, give you something to do. It'd be great, wouldn't it? I always said I would have always bought Stockport County, but they're doing all right now. They've got money. So not because I'm doing a series with them at the minute, but I'd definitely buy Oldham because they're in the non-league, great club. Now he's from the Midlands, he's a Birmingham City fan, and he said he'd buy Walsall because, you know, similar size club, but they're surrounded by these big clubs, aren't they? Villa, Birmingham, Wolves, West Brom, and many more around that area. So it just stuck in my head and I thought, I'll try Walsall out. I've never done anything with them. So at the minute though, you can see it's 2040. Now this is from my Mbappe at Curzon Ashton episode, and we're looking at this because this is a standard normal Walsall with no changes, and we can use this as a platform and a foundation to compare with what happens in our experiment. As you can see, they spend a lot of time in League 2, they have a little stint or 2 in League 1, and then recently they have crashed and burnt and spent the last couple of years in the Vanarama National. Now they play at the nearly 11,000 capacity stadium, the Poundland. Imagine you stay at Poundland. Imagine your stadium was named Poundland. Bescott Stadium, which they don't actually own. It's owned by someone private apparently, and it's costing them £500,000 a year. They've got average training, below average youth recruitment. I know it's 2040, but I don't think much has changed from there. I'm not going to run through all the transfers on this bit, but I have run through them and added them up just so we can compare to see the difference, right? So over this 18-year period, they only spent 1.3 million. It's not a lot, but they did recoup 5.6. Still, it's not groundbreaking. So what have I done? Well, let's jump into it and find out. So I want you, for a moment, just to use your imagination. A bit of a Boodiverse thing we're going to do here. Have a bit of fun. We're going to pretend that a national lottery ran a competition for League 2 teams. Let's think a little mini World Cup in the summer, right? A little knockout tournament for fun. The winner would get 30 million quid, right? And somehow, Walsall won it. Now, some teams might buy it, build a new stadium. Some teams might completely renovate the stadium. Some teams might spend it all on players. Walsall decided to do something different and put it into their future to see if that would make any difference, and hopefully would it grow the club. So they used a small amount of it to buy that stadium back, so they now own it. That's it. No more rent. But I haven't changed the stadium in any way. It's the same size. I've not made it state of the art. I'm not giving it anything. It's still exactly how it would be on a standard save. They just own it now. Where the money has gone is they have built a state-of-the-art training facility, a state-of-the-art youth facility, and they've put their youth recruitment and academy coaching up to exceptional. They also put together a really good coaching team, well-rounded first-team coaches, well-rounded youth coaches for the first team and the under-18s, basically. Now, I've nicked a few from here and there in the Premier League. I've kept a few others. I've given them all the potential to become good and grow with the club as well. But the one thing I did change was every single one of them has a working with youngsters attribute of 20, which is the absolute maximum. They've all got contracts till 2040, which is when this experiment will end. It doesn't mean they'll all stay, but it gives them hopefully a better chance. All on good wages as well, which could hurt the club in the early days. But I'm hoping they can fight through it. Hopefully, if they can't start generating their own players and keeping them, being successful, maybe selling them on, that'll be fine. It's a gamble, but I think it'll be fine. I just want to try and lock these guys in so they can work with the players and work with these facilities and hopefully grow the club. Now, the club, the owner, the fans, and everyone all believe in the same formation and style of play. Where I can, also, they all want the best youth system in the world. They want to develop their own players with their academy, and they want to bring in young players to, well, develop and potentially sell on. So that's what it's all about, this club now. Is it going to be enough? Will this work? Because, look, like, these kind of experiments don't always work. Top managers do shit, but then you can have a superstar player drag a club from nothing all the way to nearly to the top. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if you pump up full of money, it works. But I want to see, because I do love building facilities. I love putting staff together, and it might be a long process. You know, if you're doing a long-term save, maybe it's a bit of fun for you in the editor to give a team these kind of facilities and staff, and just to see if you can. But I want to know, will this work? So, will it? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to jump forward. We're not going to dip in different years. We're just going to jump straight to 2040 and have a good ganders. Now, I've holidayed. I don't know. We're going to find out together. This is one that I really, really want to work. So here we are, 1st of July 2040, and they're in the Premier League. So at first glance, that's absolutely brilliant. The stadium's twice the size, and they're still in it, their spiritual home. That's exciting. Now, if you're a Walsall fan, I've got to admit, when I went into the editor to like do me bits, I just looked at the rivals, and I'm pretty sure there's more rivals than there is on there. There's a lot of rivalries for Walsall. It's like they hate absolutely everyone around them. Does everyone hate them too? I don't know. But I don't think I've ever seen a rivalry hate list on the editor on any club like I have on Walsall's. So if we look at this graph, it looks quite good, to be fair. So if we go here, they finished 6th in League 2 in their first year. Now, I'm not giving them any extra players. No money, right? No nothing apart from the youth facilities and the coaching team. Maybe the coaching team's out with that. And I mean, they're not worldly coaches. They could become good, hopefully grow with the club. But that's obviously an instant help. Now, these first few years, and it looks like that on the graph because they've gone up, finished 20th, then they got relegated the year after, then they've won the league, and then they've spent a few years of slowly climbing up League 1 to 6, where they've won the playoffs again. That's awesome. Because them first few years, you know, that first youth intake can take a season. They're all going to be 15, 16. It's going to take years for them, a few years for them to develop, maybe grow into players you can use or players you can sell on. And that's what it looks like. And then over the years, it's like maybe the conveyor belt that started to kick in, because they're in the Championship, finished 18th, 10th, 17th, 14th, 19th, 10th, 6th, 15th, and they jumped all the way to bloody champions, which is brilliant. And they've just finished 17th in the Prem. Oh, I'm buzzing they got to the Prem, because other things you might know, I won't spoil it, but some recent videos of they've got sorted to the Prem or nearly there. So to have Walsall actually have a season in the Prem is brilliant, and they only just did it. On goal difference, wow, 38 points level with Watford. But look at Aston Villa, they're probably the biggest club in the Midlands. They've not done very well. 13 points. Ouch. Now, if we look at the facilities, of course, we know the stadium's been doubled in size, which is brilliant. They still obviously own it. The facilities have took a downgrade, and they've obviously not kept them up to state of the art, but they're still excellent for training in youth. Still get exceptional youth recruitment and academy coaching. So that's a proper bonus. Saw earlier that they've already won 2 Sky Bet League 2s in real life. So they've won another one. They've won the Sky Bet Championship, and they won 2 Papa Johns, and they won them 2 in the first 4 years when the club was growing, when these players would have been coming through. So I think that's brilliant. That maybe shows you. I'm a big fan of staff. I think it can help. If you can get a great staff together, just first team coaching, I think it can really push on average teams and average players. It has for me many times. So I'm wondering if that's helped. And then the clubs obviously gets growing then, starts creating its own players. So you might remember on the standard Walsall simulation, they over 18 years they only spent 1.3 million and recouped 5.6. Well, it's been very different here, and you can tell, I think, that they've obviously created players because they didn't have a sugar daddy, they ain't got money, they ain't got a big stadium, they didn't have any extra sponsorship, any commercial income, nothing. This has got to have been purely from having the facilities and developing their own players, and the numbers are brilliant, I think. So, I mean, I'll quickly go through it quick, but while I'm speaking and clicking, they spent over an 18-year period 270 million, roughly, and recouped 330 million. Wow. Now, their current squad, I've arranged it by value. It's kind of fascinating in a way because the one player I've highlighted, Abdi Karnal, is the only player in their top-end players that's come from their academy. But I'm not going to go through them all. You're going to have to trust me on this. I've just gone through every single player, and they've got several from United, players from Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Barcelona. There's one from Real Madrid as well. And then quite a few from smaller English clubs. So they must have generated the wealth from selling their own players, use that to then buy other youngsters that develop themselves. And the team now is made up of those players that they've brought in and developed. But the wealth must have been generated, surely, from either, you know, their own players or being clever, having that focus to want to, you know, bring players in and sell on for profit. There must have been a lot of that. So I've taken them over to look at the finances, and they don't blow you away when you think of them numbers. They're obviously spending some money because they owe 15 million, and they've got 13 to spend, so they're not super rich. They've never had a tycoon takeover. They've had a few different little takeovers, but nothing special. A lot of the staff have changed and so on. So I wonder if there's this honeymoon period in the middle when they started all the staff where they were doing really well. Maybe it's slowed down a little bit over the last few years, but they're in the Premier League now, and you know, you generate a lot of money in the Premier League. I've found that out being old, and when you've got, you know, a small wage budget, you generate tons of money from the TV. So they're the finances. Debt-wise, they're in a bit, aren't they? A few bank loans, net debt of nearly 40 mil, transfer debt of 11. Yeah. That's not great. Now, I've just checked through the entire current England squad, and not a single player from this squad has come from the academy or had a stint at the academy, which is a little bit disappointing. But still, the difference in their numbers and the fact the club has got itself to the Premier League shows that it works. And I thought it would, but you never know until you run it and see. Not many of us will play for nearly 20 years, but again, it's something, you know, you can have a bit of fun with it. I know a lot of people don't, you know, you can class using the editor as cheating, but sometimes you want to have a bit of fun with this game, and maybe you could do that. Take a non-league club and give it super facilities, build yourself a little coaching team, because I honestly believe that we are better at this game than the computer ever is. And when a human's in charge, you might make better decisions. You might have kept a certain player, you might have got a better price for a certain player, you might have got rid of a certain player, got to that Premier League quicker, made more money, developed them players better. But I'm still really impressed how well it's worked. So this guy, when I looked through everything, it's kind of annoyed me a bit. So he was a coach at Walsall. Now, like I said, I gave him all potential ability of 175, which is very good. It's Premier League level, but you know, 200's a max. So he had great potential, and he looks like he's fulfilled it. He wants to be a director of football now, apparently. He has been, obviously, a manager. Now, he started off as a coach, was a caretaker manager, then became manager. Right? Then he left to go to Derby. Got sacked by Derby, ends up coming back to Walsall for a good few years. He just spent the last season at Leicester. So he wasn't the manager that... I think he was the manager that got him in the Prem, but then left, and he's been sacked by Leicester. So the new guys kept him there. So he developed pretty well. Well, he has as a freaking director of football anyway. There you go, that is the end of the video. Just my own curiosity. I just put it together. I just wanted to see how it turned out, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm not going to put it out there, but if you really fancy a go of it, maybe, you know, get in touch with me, email me. You'll find my email down below in the description. I'll send you the save file. Have a go yourself if you're up for a long-term save with Walsall. See what you can do. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it enough to smash that thumbs up, get involved in the comments. And if you are brand new, feel free to subscribe. Go and check out my other stuff. Stick around for my new stuff. Hit that bell and you won't miss it. So, as always, yeah, stay happy, stay safe, and booed. Bye-bye.